morning.
Hello.
How you
Hello,
doing
hello.
today?
Huh?
How you doing today?
I don't know. My hair is like really big. I'm doing all right,
Yeah.
It was day off yesterday, so
Yes. I feel a little funny. Usually you and I have a couple of minutes to chat beforehand, and literally today it was like, and we're live. So this is real fresh getting to know you today, finding out how things are going. So how was your day off yesterday?
it was good. I went for a nice long hike and ate some good food with some people
Yeah.
and was home in a reasonable hour
Yeah.
and yeah. So it was good. How was
Good.
yours? How was your day off?
Yesterday was pretty good. I try so hard to give myself days off, but there's always something like I just can't stop. So there's a little bit of work yesterday. But yesterday was day 1 of Concept 2 Holiday Challenge, and
Yeah.
I was not gonna let that day slide by. So I sat down, did 5K on the erg, and I don't know if you've seen it, but for the holiday challenge, Concept 2 has a suggested workout schedule for the 31 days. And so you can find it if you go into your logbook and Concept 2, the challenge, and then there's all this information about the holiday challenge. So dig through there, and there's a link to a PDF. So I didn't really know where I wanted to start with the holiday challenge. So I did what they suggested, which was 5K. But I didn't do steady state at a 26 like they suggested because I'm just getting back on the erg.
26.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that wasn't really my jam yesterday, but there's a workout I really like to do that's basically like 4K of drills, and then I padded it with another 1,000 meters to get my 5K yesterday. So that was
What's
good.
done is done. What's done is
Done. Yep, yep. And then on the Concept 2 challenge schedule for today, they had some intervals. I'm looking at my notes over here, 4 by 750. Um, and I just don't follow. I'm not a good follower, so I picked a different interval workout that I like, and it felt really good. Felt
well,
really
you're using them as a launching off
Yep,
point matched up with where you're at
yep,
personally and physically.
yep,
And I think that's great. I think
yep.
you're lucky that you're a coach and you know how to manipulate those things. So I'm hoping that people will take what you're saying as a way of it's okay to
Yeah,
modify.
yeah,
It's okay.
absolutely.
Like here's permission,
Yeah,
right?
you totally have permission. Modify as you see fit. And I decided this morning when I wanted to do intervals that I'm not sure why I've kind of held myself back for several months. I've kind of fallen into this rhythm of like, here's this one easy workout I like to do, and that's what I'm going to keep doing. And so today I flipped through my spiral notebook of workouts, and literally, like, I had 0 other notes with this workout. It just said warm up and then 20 by 30 seconds on, 30 off. I was like, that's as much as my brain can handle. Like, let's just get to work. So that's what I
Wow.
did this morning, and it felt good.
That felt okay. All right.
Surprise, surprise. It felt all right. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I saw your post and I was like, I thought to myself, like, my comment was going to be, God, that kind of makes me wish I had an erg at home. And then I
Yeah.
realized it would be like, hashtag said no one. And I was
I really wish I could get on the erg today. Yeah.
I wish I had one like right here,
Yeah.
in my living room.
Yeah.
Well, our winter trainings kicked off this week at Vashon Crew, and I'm looking forward to jumping into those workouts next week. So it's fun. It's a team workout, so it's a little bit fun. I also saw that Peloton is you can rent a Peloton,
Oh, like, really? For a
like
period of time
like
and then return it?
yeah, like a Peloton bike, and I was like, oh, because I have like a microscopic place to live, but there's a chair that could be moved, you know.
Well, the thing with
I
Peloton,
love cycling though. I mean, I love indoor cycling. Like I was an indoor cycling teacher for years,
yeah,
and I love those workouts.
with Peloton, do you have to subscribe like you do with Hydro? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you do. But this rental program I was reading about, it comes with that. So you
got
pay
it.
like $89 a month or something, which is equivalent of a pretty decent gym membership
Yeah,
ish, you know.
yep,
Um, you just got to look at your options, especially when money is an issue for people, or
mhm,
like justifying spending money on that is an issue for people,
yeah,
but we're about to see a huge surge, as we know, of fitness
goals.
interest, fitness, fitness euphoria,
Yeah,
coming up.
yeah.
So,
This year, I'm trying to remember. I think I did the Concept 2 Holiday Challenge last year. By the way, if you are in and joining us, welcome. We're really glad to have you here. Let us know if you're doing the Concept 2 Holiday Challenge this year. No shame if you're not, just wondering if you are. This year, I think I have a little bit different feeling about it, specifically because you and I have been talking about 2023, and we've been talking about goals for fitness for next year already. Like we started talking about that last month. And so usually like this time of year, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to do some stuff on the erg to kind of get my winter training going. And right now I have a little bit different mentality about it. Like, let's get moving. Let's get moving. What am I waiting for? And Tara, I saw something that I might want to do at the end of the holiday challenge. Right. So there's just like vague, like, I know I'm going to row at least 100,000 meters in the next month, but like, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to get there. I don't totally have my plan. And then this could go in the hashtag follow Friday um, category.
mhm.
Is there is rower, an indoor rower that you and I have talked about once before, I think. His hashtag or his handle is truck ergs, I
Oh,
think, online.
yes, yes. And now there's more than that. According
Oh,
to Concept 2, there
yeah.
are other truckers.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll have to check that out. So let me do a quick little search. I'll find this guy. But long story short is he's a trucker. He has an erg and some other equipment that he brings along with him in his truck. And he is, he's not a rower. He was a guy who wasn't really particularly into fitness before, found the erg, fell in love with it. And now like he's got this whole personality wrapped around being an erg rower. And he posted something yesterday that he's going to do a half marathon on Christmas Eve day, the 24th of December, which is the
Mhm.
last day of the holiday challenge. So I think I'm
Is,
gonna
is
make that
he
my
doing
goal.
the holiday challenge?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I kind of would guess that he is because he
I would
seems to be
too.
connected with Concept 2. But I
Yeah.
think that might be how I'm gonna finish up the holiday challenge on the 24th.
So yesterday, did you or did you not do 5K?
I did 5K for day one of the holiday challenge, predominantly as drills, though. I
Oh,
did a
that's right, what you said.
yeah, yeah.
4,000 of drills. Yes, gotcha, gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah, yeah, and I actually wanna share that workout with everybody because it is my go-to when I actually don't have a lot of time or I don't feel like it's this funny workout. I call it my finding flow workout. So it's not intervals, it's not steady state. It's a bunch of drills
Mhm.
that really help me focus on, the things that drills help you work on, which is
Yeah.
slide control, not breaking
Sure.
your arms at the catch, all that sort of stuff. But then mixed in there is this really great build: one stroke on, one stroke off, two strokes on, two
Yeah.
strokes off, up to 10, and then I repeat that whole set. So it gives you a chance to get some strokes at power and a little bit higher rating without going bonkers. Um, and all of a sudden, you're 5K done.
All right. Well, I'm inspired. I was thinking about swimming tonight.
Hmm.
The pool, they have lap swim open 6 to 7. So I was thinking I might do that.
Yep.
I have a big day tomorrow. I'm vendor at a big holiday fair tomorrow
Mhm.
as a barber. So kind of want to like slide into the evening and like get ready because it's going to be a lot of standing, a lot of talking, a lot of like, so, you know, so Claudia's here, Claudia Pace and Liz Winter are here. And Claudia is using the Faster Masters rowing, which is Marlene Royal, Coach Marlene.
Mhm.
And they have a subscription program where you can work out with them. I don't know if other people are doing those kinds of things. Liz, she's starting the holiday challenge today. What was I going to say? I'm going to be doing a sensei
Mhm.
with Martha's moms. So
Okay.
we're all meeting by Zoom, you know, prop the camera up. So Claudia, my question to you is, you say we are doing the holiday challenge. I know Faster Masters is a national, if not global, you know, subscription program. Are you all doing it together, like on Zooms? Are you meeting up and doing them, or are you just kind of following it along with your friends and just doing it? So that's my question to you. Because remember in the old days we used to do, oh no, what
What?
was it called?
What?
The online erg thing that we
Oh,
all
you
did
mean at the beginning of COVID?
during COVID. What was it called? The
Oh,
one from England?
Zoom ergos,
Zoom ergos.
and
Yes.
they're still around.
Yeah, Zoom ergos. That's a good one because that's free still, isn't it?
I believe it's still free, and yeah, I mean, I kind of stopped paying attention about a year ago with Zoom ergos, but what's awesome is, I mean, they've just got a lot of different options of a lot of different people leading the sessions, and those people tend to be, like, national team rowers or Olympians, and I remember when those sessions first started being offered, I was like, "There is no way I'm gonna keep up with an Olympian," and A, that's partly true, but B, there were a couple sessions I sat in, and even the Olympian was like, "Whew, this is a hard workout." And like, and so when you hear that, you're like, okay, like this is legitimately a tough workout, or you just make what you want out of it. You know, it's like it's not the end of the world if you take 4 strokes off, really. It's okay.
And yeah, exactly. And do you know you're a big fan of Live to Row indoor studios in
Yes.
Florida?
Yeah.
Are they doing the holiday challenge? And do they have a, I'm just sort of thinking like, I wonder if we could provide people some direction today. Like,
So,
okay, here's a
yeah.
couple subscription series. Here's Rachel's workout from this morning or from yesterday. And just like, we don't have to put together a training plan for people, but would people be interested in like, here's some resources? Like,
Yep.
I'm not sure that I've seen anybody sort of collectively put it together, but I kind of love how we're sort of stumbling through it and being like,
Yeah.
I don't know, what's that called? Like, what is
What's that
that?
thing?
Because we're really real life rowers and we're masters rowers. I'm challenged with, I don't have an erg in my home. I have to go, you know, drive a fair bit. But I'm motivated for sure. Because I looked at a picture of myself when I was at my fittest about 10 years ago.
Yeah. Different bodies. Totally, yeah, totally different bodies. Um,
Like, are you
yeah.
kidding me?
So
Postmenopausal now.
for me, I have to remind myself that when I was my fittest, let's say I'm kind of making up a number, but I think I was around 30. And I was rowing 5 days a week and training for swim bike duathlons. So basically, almost every day I was doing 2 days.
Mhm.
And like, truth of the matter is, like, that's not going to happen again. My body doesn't want to do that, and that's okay. But I just have to remind myself, like, that thing that I did for 1 year does not can't be my benchmark for what my fitness goals are from here on out. The body was functioning differently 10 years older. No, geez, 15 years older now. You know, it's just different.
Yeah, and I think also, like, our motivations are different. Back then, it was like, I'm in my age group, maybe I could do well enough to, like, you know, be in the top 10. Like, you actually had, like, competitive goals.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to some things, we're like, "Meh, let's just do it to be healthy, or let's just
Yeah.
do it to be with our friends."
Yeah.
But we have to remember as rowers, as masters rowers especially, you cannot wait until 2 months before the Charles to get in shape for the Charles.
Yeah.
You have to start today to
Yeah.
get ready for next year's Charles, and the myriad of ways that you can get ready for any event next year is to just be consistent. You know, as a
Yes.
personal trainer, I was a personal trainer for a long time. And that's the thing that people struggle with, myself included, is just being consistent. And we get impatient. We want to see results. But I can't emphasize enough, I would get into a head of the Charles selection process in my club. And my coach would say, I'm not just watching you right now. I've been watching you all year.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh, either you're like, yes,
Yeah.
I've been nailing it all year, or you're like, oh, damn, I've been sitting on my ass. And then I'll have people who get picked to go to the Charles, like in Vashon, we were like very seriously thinking about going. No one had the fitness. Like we
Mm-hmm.
couldn't even, sustain, a 28 for any length of time without
Yeah.
the wheels falling off.
Yep.
And my comment to the group was, we can't start thinking about this in July or August. Like we needed to be thinking about this in December of last year.
Yeah.
And I think what's challenging also is that you live in places like you or places that have really harsh winters and everybody has to go inside. How do you get ready for San Diego?
Yeah.
Like that's a really tough one. How do you get ready for San Diego? Sometimes we would train all winter, weights, ergs, do the whole thing. And then as soon as we could get on the water, like the glimmer of light that we could get on the water, because we were a parks department program, so we had very strict rules, was usually President's Day in February. And then it was like, bing, like up pretty far up, because you also have to apply for San Diego last year.
Yeah.
That's already done.
Yeah. I've never been a part of a program that has put San Diego Crew Classic on the schedule, at least not to my knowledge. I don't know if that's because it's across the country or because it is so early in the year. I mean, our practices here it's usually the last Monday in March. And sure, maybe folks have been training through the winter on the erg, but we don't really hit the water for racing until June. So the one time I went to Crew Classic was as a coxswain, and that I could pull off.
Yeah. And I think you're right. Just being on the West Coast, it's more in our psyche to go. And also being in the rainy, dark Pacific Northwest, like the opportunity to go to the beach for 4 days is like it's been like the antidote. When I've gone, I think I've gone twice in an 8. It's a very fun event. It's a very beachy event. You get to see Olympians. You get to see all the usual kind of suspects, 1980 team, the Team USA. Like there's adaptive rowing. It's kind of cool. I liked that it was only 8s for a long time. I think it's different now, but it used to just be.
I want to say that there are 4s, but I might just be thinking that because I coxed an adaptive 4 or like a military adaptive 4, and I don't know if that was special. Yeah, Freedom Rose. I don't know if that was special circumstance. But hey, going back to winter training and ideas, I love the notion of putting together a list for folks. I'm going to start doing that. I have some things top of mind that I was already personally thinking about kind of hitting up for motivation and some classes to take for throughout the winter. The other thing is throughout the holiday challenge, I know that lots and lots of folks already belong to their own home teams through their logbooks on Concept 2. And I also understand that the holiday challenge is not technically a team challenge, but we did put out a call on social media. And if folks want to join us for the holiday challenge, join our Steady State Network team on the logbook. It is, again, your workouts are not going to, add up to like team points or anything for the holiday challenge. But what it is going to do if you join our team is basically put you in a little group of folks who we're going to stay in touch with specifically about the challenge. And I decided yesterday that today I'm going to put together a spreadsheet because I like spreadsheets a whole lot. And that's going to go out to anybody who joins our Concept 2 logbook team, and people can add in their workouts for the day, whatever it is that they're doing. And that's going to basically hold us accountable. So I can tell you what I'm up to and I can see what you're up to. And we'll just hopefully stay on task for the month.
Yeah, I love, what do you call it? Strava, I always thought was really fun because then you can join and see other people's workouts and things. Have you ever used Strava before?
I've never used Strava, predominantly because I thought it was duplicative of other things that I use, but I do understand the concept of it and, like, sharing your workouts with everybody, and I think it's
No.
cool to see people's routes when they're doing runs or bikes or things like that, or on water roads.
Yeah, yeah. That's cool. I'm excited to see your progress because I just started to do B12. I don't know if people know what B12 does for you, but a lot of people suffer from a deficiency of it for whatever reason. Sometimes it's because people are vegan, and they really do need to supplement with an actual supplement.
Mhm.
And I got my blood work done recently, and my B12 was like in the shitter, like
Oh.
super in the shitter. And I was
Mhm.
like, oh, I had no idea. I mean, I'm exhausted, yes,
Mm.
and not healing well. You know,
Mhm.
I'm having some injuries that aren't healing well. And it turns out that you can get, I'm getting these B12 injections and doing B12 supplements. And I feel like I've been shot out of a cannon,
Oh.
energy wise.
Oh.
Like, I'm like, oh,
This is how I should have been feeling.
right. And it helps your metabolism.
Yeah.
So I would just encourage everybody, do your due diligence, um, and do your stuff. Like get your stuff done, mammogram, colonoscopy, whatever you need to
Yeah.
get done, blood work,
Yep.
go get it done. Like just do it. Just do a little house cleaning. I'm just happy that I did
Yeah.
and have a bunch of stuff on the calendar now, I think it'll be,
I'm really glad that you mentioned the B12 and supplements, because I was actually just thinking about a couple years ago, I got into using this series of products from a company who honestly I can't even remember the name of it right now. But it was one of these like pyramid schemes where you buy from a seller and they get a percentage of your sales, and then if you choose to become a seller, then you get a
yeah,
percentage of
yeah,
blah 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 blah. And it was all like I didn't go like all in on all of their products, but what I did buy were was like powdered for making smoothies, and then some powdered stuff for making like midday drinks or pre-workout drinks.
Mhm.
And I really liked those, except that it dawned on me after like a year just how much money I was spending on this stuff, and it got to be a little ridiculous. So I was wondering if you or anybody else has any suggestions for uh pre-workout, during workout, or post-workout drinks specifically. I don't want to talk about food right now, but hydration would be awesome.
So I just put it in the comments. It's a
Yeah.
product called Scratch,
Ooh, okay.
Skratch. I actually know the people who founded the company.
Okay.
They have a whole line, of course. They have pre and post recovery. They have or pre-workout, post recovery. They have bars, that so it comes in like a powder form or whatever. But it's kind of a brand that I don't think a lot of people have heard about, and
Mm-mm.
it's from the Pacific Northwest. We sell it in a few different locations, little bike shops, kind of here. But I would definitely check out Scratch and try it. And then my other favorite one, I used to get at REI, Hammer Nutrition. It's a strawberry
Oh, the
pre
goo?
what?
The hammer goo stuff?
No, it's
Mhm.
let me look it
Oh,
up.
powdered you add to your water?
Yeah, there's a
Yes.
product. It's strawberry. They have a bunch of flavors, but the strawberry one's the best. Um, but I'll
Yeah.
look
Yep, I did used to use Hammer way back in the day when I was cycling a ton. I even actually had Hammer, like, branded cycling shorts. I do when I get into more intensive training, and longer erg workouts, I like to use GU, literally GU, that's the name of the product. They've got these little GU packets, or you can buy a big GU packet and just, like, take a big hit off of it. I like that stuff. It's got a little bit of caffeine in it if you well, depending on the flavor, and that was like definitely a kick in the pants. It definitely helps. I was just, yeah, I'm really interested right now in kind of like mid afternoon when I'm sick and tired of drinking water or tea. I'm looking for something else that might help me like finish out the day, as well as maybe a pre workout drink. So I'm going to check out that
it.
Scratch. Thanks for the recommendation.
Yeah, it's funny. I just put in pre-workout into Google image search.
Mhm.
Holy cow. You wow. that is a lot of products to choose from.
Sure.
So I usually go with something that, you know, knowing your food allergies, like that's really important. If you're sensitive to soy or sensitive to you know, certain kinds of sugar, agave, you know, if you want agave over, you know, regular sugar or whatever your thing is, do your research, but friendly recommendations and getting sample packets and trying sample packets, I
Yeah.
think is a good way to go. This is great.
Hey, guess what? Lisa Wise is with us today. Hi, Lisa. How are things going out
Hola.
there out west? I hope you're having a good morning. I hope you had a good Thanksgiving yesterday with your fam. I love it when Lisa's here. We got to talk with her. It's been a little while.
So check it out.
Oh, you broke your coffee chat mug
I was
already.
washing it and it tapped the inside of the sink.
Oh,
I have a craft project today.
bummer. Oh, I'm
But you
sorry.
guys,
That
check it out.
stinks.
Look, you can have your own coffee chat mug. It's so rad. It's so rad.
SteadyStateNetwork.com
I guess
slash.
technically it still works, but
Yeah. We should, before the half hour wraps up, we should talk about our next episode, which is dropping today to our patrons and on Sunday to everybody else. We had a
yeah.
kind of cool conversation with a super tall 19-year-old.
Yeah, I first saw Isaiah Harrison at an Ergomania, Northwest Ergomania, kind of a crash be in the Northwest event. I think he must have been 14. Like he was really
Mhm.
young. And he must have been 14. And I saw him and I remember seeing him walking with his whole entourage, his family, and they're all huge.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? And he had
Yeah.
like his own custom uni
Yeah.
for his own like club. So he's homeschooled. He is on a gap year right now, while he figures out college versus just on the track to the Olympics. And then lives just with his family out in the middle of nowhere in Idaho in Coeur d'Alene and on a lake. And his dad was his coach.
Yeah, and so, you and I, when we set out to do the podcast, wanted to talk with real life rowers. And so here we've got this guy who, at this point in his short but like stratospheric rise in his rowing career, is like eyes fully set on Paris 2024 Olympics. But when he got started, it was on the erg. He was 12. He didn't really know anything about erging or rowing. And then over the next couple of years, I think kind of fell in love with it, kind of started wondering, what can I do next? He wasn't a part of a scholastic rowing program because of where he lives. And he and his dad just basically said, like, how can we make this rowing thing work outside of the system? And this is like mind-blowing to me. This is the first time I've literally heard anybody talk about rowing in this way, right? You
Mm.
usually join a scholastic program, you join a collegiate program, or you join a master's program. You don't just say, like, I feel like erging, then I feel like learning how to scull, and then, oh, by the way, I made the U23 team. And
Right.
so I'm really fascinated by how he and his dad basically learned to row together, and how his dad took it upon himself to become, I think, a level 2 certified coach.
Yeah, he's up to a level 2 now.
Yep.
Yeah. His dad's name is Joa,
Mhm,
Joa. He also has a little brother who's rowing, Elijah.
mhm.
He's one of six
I think
kids.
6 kids in the
Six
family.
kids. He's like third from the oldest, I think he said.
Mhm.
And his little brother Elijah just at the head of the Charles. So
Mhm.
I saw them on the sidewalk because you can't miss him. He's 6'9", so
Yeah.
you can't miss this kind of just kind of googly, gangly, gigantic person who, you know. And what was interesting about what we learned about him as experience at the Charles was he moved up an age bracket this year, so he wasn't with basically guys his own age. He was
Yep.
with guys who were older than him, so he really got a feel for like getting out of other people's way.
Yeah.
Whereas people were getting out of his way when
Yeah.
he was sort of dominating the event.
Yeah, he's very aware of how big he is and how dominating he looks, and he was like, "It didn't matter this year." Like, there were much more experienced rowers on the course. He rowed the champ singles, not the club singles. He was like, "I'm going for it," and rowed the champ single this year. Did he end up placing 9th?
He was ninth, yeah. So still, like, completely impressive.
So
But
amazing.
the Craftsbury Green Racing Project won
Sorry.
that.
I mean, he talked to us about a lot, and I can't wait for you guys to hear this episode. He's incredibly well spoken. He's very smart. Um, and he has rowed a lot on the indoor rower. Basically, every distance and challenge you can do on the indoor rower, he's done. And I can't remember which distance. It must have been like a 1-minute challenge. He said the lowest split he ever saw
Oh
was a
yeah.
106. Not a 206, people, a 106. I can't even.
Yeah.
I mean,
And I
just
asked,
the lever, the power he has.
so
Crazy.
I had to ask him, I'm like, how is the erg attached to the floor
Yeah.
when you're doing that? Because that would break an erg. Like I'm
Yeah.
sure concept 2 is like, ooh, we've never challenged it that much, you know? And he's like, and he said it was like sometimes people stood on it,
Yeah.
sometimes he actually bolted it to the floor,
Yeah.
you know. And I'm like, you just rip your floor right up, like it's concrete, you know. I'm like, I wonder what he would do if he went up against like Eric Murray, like the two of them just like
Oh,
crushing
that
it.
would be amazing to see him up against, like, a true Olympic athlete.
Like,
Um,
yeah.
oh, speaking of Eric Murray, so Eric Murray responded to my post yesterday about the Concept 2 challenge and said, "Hey, guys, check out he's got a YouTube channel. So he has a bunch of rowing videos that he put together, I think predominantly during like the first year of COVID. He is a great instructor, great leader, a lot of different kinds of workouts. So again, I'll add this to the list. But if you're looking for some ideas to get you through the holiday challenge and through the winter on your erg, search for Eric Murray, Murray, on YouTube, and you're going to get some great workouts there.
Yeah. And if you missed it, he was our guest 2 episodes ago, right before the Charles, or right on the Charles weekend, I think
Yep.
didn't that launch right before?
Yeah, 2 before the Charles, because it was Eric, and then it was Sophie Brown,
Right.
and then
Yeah.
Brent.
Yeah.
Anyway, not that long ago, the last month or so.
I just want to take a minute to thank our sponsors, Breakwater Realty, Concept 2, and Lake Washington Rowing Club. Awesome sauce to have sponsors for the podcast, and thank our Patreons. Patreons are folks who get early access to episodes. They get discounts on swag. And so if you want to get that kind of thing, check it out. It's how Rachel and I do this. Not totally for free, but you know.
We get a little bit of financial help, and it's always wonderful to see. You can get in as a patron for as little as $5 a month. So, a cup of coffee. We're not asking a whole lot, but it helps us keep the lights on and keep stuff like this running from month to month. So we're really appreciative of any help you can offer. And guess what, Tara? We picked up a new patron this week.
What? We did?
Yeah, we did. I'll let you know about it offline. I'm really happy.
Okay, good. I'm so excited to hear that. We I think we have a good little group of folks. And one thing to put into the hopper people's minds is RowCon 2023 has announced their lineup, their program. It's a US Rowing National Convention next year in February in Atlantic City. And we'll have some special announcements about that coming up pretty soon. So
Can I put in a little plug, Tara?
yeah.
So about 2 years ago on Facebook, I started a group called the Alliance of Women Rowing Coaches, and it is a small but ever-growing group of female coaches from really around the world, which is pretty exciting. And everything from scholastic coaches to collegiate coaches. I think we even have a couple of national team coaches and or like former national team like rowers and coxswains who are now coaches, which is super exciting. So if you fall into that group as female identifying and you'd like to be a part of that group, we'd love to have you there. Check out the Alliance of Women Rowing Coaches on Facebook. And I mentioned that because just a day or two ago, I posted something there about a non-rowing related, but coaching related online seminar. That's not the right word I'm looking for, but that's happening in December. And it is going to be chock full of information for coaches and a little bit different than what you might find at a US rowing convention. I will find that information and post it again to Steady State Network. But if you're looking for some ideas for your own personal coaching education over the winter, check out the Alliance of Women Rowing Coaches for that link. And we just love to have you be a part of that team over there as well.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, well, it's 35 after. Thanks for joining us. Let's see, a couple comments there. Did you put that in there? Oh, Alliance of Women Rowing Coaches. Yeah, great.
Well, thanks for chatting, Tara. It's always awesome to see you on Friday mornings, and always awesome to have folks here with us chiming in. And enjoy your leftovers from yesterday if you have any. I have pumpkin pie and like a whole second bowl full of pumpkin cheesecake pie filling. Like we just made twice as much as we needed to. So I'm going to be looking that up by the spoonful.
Yeah, you can just throw some protein powder in that. You're good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I have squash. I have kabocha and delicata squash, roasted squash, and some green beans is my takeaway from last night. So
nice. That sounds good too.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, so stay tuned for the podcast coming out this weekend, and hopefully we will see everybody back here next Friday for another coffee chat. Have a good one, everybody.
High five.